I'm Lisa Caccamise.
And I'm Paul Tappenden.
And we're suburban foragers.
So we just got back again yet from another of our foraging trips, and this time we managed to find a whole bunch of dandelions here.
Beautiful roots.
Yeah, so what we've done is we've separated the roots. Now these I will chop fine and then roast them in the oven to make dandelion coffee from. And then these are the leaves that we boiled up, and then I chopped them fine, and so we have chopped dandelion leaves and then these roots ready to go in the oven.
And the reason for boiling these before using them in any dish is because you want to take some of the bitterness out.
Yeah, because they're flowering and past flowering, and once the plant has flowered, this is really the best way to use them, unless you can really tolerate the bitterness. So, anyway, what else do we have here?
Well, we also have lamb's quarters, which I chopped up. Lamb's quarters are, for lack of a better word, wild spinach, would you call them?
Yeah, right? I would definitely call them that. They're the same family, so... Yeah.
And they're tasty just as is. You don't need to parboil these because they're just good. And then, raiding a fridge, I have a variety of different things here that I'm going to put into a dish that I'm not even sure what to call it. I just think that it's raid the fridge, sausage, and wild foraged greens. So that's the dish. I have some feta cheese. I have sun-dried tomatoes, different varieties of sausage, an andouille, a chorizo, and an Italian sweet. I have Kalamata olives, some anchovies, lemon juice, vegetable stock. It's all good stuff.
That should hold up very nicely to dandelion. No?
Exactly,
Yeah.
And that's why. Nice and hearty flavored foods go well with anything that's a bitter herb.
Yeah, oh, so, good.
Let's get started.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to take this off and out of your way, and that will get ground up afterwards. Right, okay, so what are you doing then?
Well, everything's pretty much chopped and ready to go, so I'm going to move over to the pan now. And first thing I'm going to add is some anchovies. And these anchovies are in olive oil. I'm going to add probably 2 to the dish, and I'm going to add a little bit of the anchovy oil too. So we want to start by getting our pan nice and hot. And once it's hot, I'm going to add a little olive oil, which is my fat of choice. You always have a choice when you're cooking with fats. And this is kind of an Italian-esque meal, so I'm going to use the olive oil. This is sliced garlic, so it won't burn as quickly as minced garlic. I'm just going to let this go more than 30 seconds, probably like a minute. Then we're going to get a little bit of a toasting on the garlic. The next thing I'm going to add are sun-dried tomatoes. And the Kalamata olives, both chopped. Well, actually the sun-dried tomatoes I sliced, or julienne. And the Kalamata olives I chopped. And let these go until they're fragrant. So our sun-dried tomatoes, Kalamata olives, and garlic and jalapeno are nice and sizzling in the pan. We're going to add our sausage. Now the sausage, all of this sausage is already pre-cooked, so it's only going to need to be heated up and toasted. It's not going to take long at all. So we got good color on the sausage. That's what I wanted. If you leave it in the pan and let it just do its thing without stirring, it will get nice and caramelized on the edges, and that's exactly what you want. So now it's time for the greens, and we have the lamb's quarters and we have the dandelion leaves. It looks like a lot of lamb's quarters, but just like spinach, it cooks down to nothing. So we're going to wilt this. And I'll add the dandelion greens now. So I'm finding at this point that it needs a little moisture. So I have some stock that I've made on the side. And add a little bit of that in. Could be any kind of stock. Could be vegetable stock, chicken stock, nettle stock would be nice. And all I'm doing now is just cooking the greens. The dandelions have been blanched, they just merely need to be heated up. So once I feel that everything's nice and hot, I'm going to add the last two ingredients of the dish, which is feta cheese and a little lemon. So now we're going to add the cheese. And I'm going to add it in crumbles on top, then I'm going to mix it in to make a nice creamy sauce. So I've crumbled the cheese on top. I'm going to mix it in so it becomes part of the sauce.
Don't forget.
And then finally, we want to add a squeeze of lemon juice. That'll brighten the flavors up and it'll actually keep the greens nice and green. So this is one of those dishes that you want to bring to the table in what it was cooked in and what it was prepared in. It gives it that rustic flair and people really like. You know, it's nice to serve things on a platter, but it's also nice to just eat out of the pot. And what I'm going to do to make it beautiful is sprinkle some of these chive flowers on top like that. And then finally, I have these beautiful Johnny Pop-Ups, which are an edible flower. I'll stick some of those on there. I love working with edible flowers. Yummy. It smells amazing.
Oh, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, you know, we don't very often incorporate meat into our dishes, so I'm really looking forward to trying this out.
Yeah, it's a nice dish. I actually made it. I made it with shrimp one time and a few others, and it just came to mind when I was thinking of hearty greens because it's got all that really good hearty flavors in there that, as we said, I think the dandelions will stand up really nicely with. This is yummy. It's really good.
Well, it's a good way to eat both sausages and greens. I really like the combination.
Although there's a lot of flavors going on, they complement each other.
I think so. So because this is primarily an Italian-style dish, I think the ideal accompaniment is a good Italian wine.
I wholeheartedly agree. Cheers.
Cheers.